Hi, it's Hope and welcome to the video. This, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, is going to be how many book series I have started going into, like, 2023. We technically are in 2023, obviously, but I'm not including ones that I started in 2023 because, yes, I've started things already. I'm filming this on January 8th at 3:30 a.m. So if words don't make sense, it's because I'm filming this at 3:30 in the morning while on sprints. So yeah. So this is going to be split into three separate categories. One is series that I'm in the middle of that are finished or, to my knowledge, finished. Series that I need to catch up on, and there's going to be at least one more book in the series. And then series that I'm entirely caught up on. And so in total, there is 71 series. That blows my mind. There's 71 series on this list. That is 71 series that I have started prior to 2023 that I have not finished. And I will leave my video talking about the series that I DNF'd or the series that I finished. So that'll be in the iCard. I always forget what side it is, and then in the description. But these will be really quick, rapid fire of the series name, the author name, the book, the first book in the series, and then how many books are in the series and how many I need to read to catch up on. But first we'll do the series I'm completely caught up on, and those will just say the series, the book, how many books I've read, how many are supposed to be, or at least how many more to my knowledge are coming out. And if I look over here, I have everything just on a spreadsheet. And if I own them, I'll try to hold them up. That depends on if I have to move from my spot. If I have to move to my spot to grab them, I will not be doing that because that is too much work for me right now. It is 3:30 in the morning. A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This is the first book. There is 5 books out right now with, I believe, 2 more books and 1 more novella coming out. So that's 3 more coming out. A Deal with a Demon by Katee Robert. The first book is The Dragon's Bride. There is 2 out now, and I believe either 3 or 4 more to come out. I can't remember exactly how many she said are going to be in the series. An Ember in the Ashes graphic novel series, prequel series by Sabaa Tahir. There's 2 out now. The first book is A Thief Among the Trees, and I know nothing about when the next book comes out. I don't even know if there actually is going to be a next book, but Goodreads is saying there is, so we're going off of Goodreads for this. And there's only supposed to be 3 in total, so just 1 more. Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. The first book is From Blood and Ash, and there's 4 books out now, and there's going to be another 2, I believe, because there's this book from a different character's point of view, and then the 5th book. To my knowledge, that's all that's announced. So we're gonna go with at least that. The Crave series by Tracy Wolff. I have read the first 5. The first book is Crave. And so there is 2 more books that are announced in this series that do come out in 2023. So those. Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. The first book is House of Earth and Blood. There is 1 more book that we know is contracted. So 3 books in total. I've read the first 2. Dark Olympus by Katee Robert. The first book is Neon Gods. This is going to be a 9 or 10 book series, and I've only read the first 3 because as I'm filming this, only the first 3 are out. Fairy Fallen by Carol Beth Anderson. The book is Fairy Fallen, and only 1 book in this series is out. The 2, I don't know when they're coming out. At some point. The Flesh and Fire series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. The first book is A Shadow in the Ember, and there is 3 books total. 2 are out and I've read, and there's 1 book coming out December of 2023 that will conclude the series. Freedom's Harem by Elizabeth Brown and Tori Heat. There is 3 books in this series. The first book is Blood Crown, and the third book comes out, I literally think in January or February. So yeah. Next we have the Guardians of the Maiden series by Beck Michaels. The first book is Divine Blood, and this is going to be, I think, a 6 or 7 book series, and only 3 are published now, and I've obviously read all 3. Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. There will be 5 volumes total, and the first 4 are published. Next is Iron Widow by Jiren J. Zhao, and this, I don't know if it's going to be more than 2 books, but I do know that there's only 1 book out. The second book comes out in 2023 here, and so I don't know if there's going to be more than 2 books. That has not been announced. The Monster series by Vanessa Len. The first book is Only a Monster, and this is going to be a trilogy, so there's 2 more books to be published, one of which does come out in 2023. Next is the Nick and Holly series by Dana Isley. The first book is Dipped in Holly. This will be a 5-book series. I've read the first 4, and the 5th one I think comes out in January here. So yeah. Next we have Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. The book title is the same as the series title. This will be a trilogy, and the 3rd book comes out in September of this year. The One Night series by Dana Isley. This is a series of 5 books, 4 are out. The first book is Games We Play. Next we have The Order of the Unseen series by Molly Doyle. This is going to be at least 4 books, or at least the 4th book is like the latest one announced. And I've read the first 3, and the first book is Scream for Us. Next we have the Ravenscry series by Charlie Nottingham, which is going to be a 6-book series. The first 3 are only out, and the first book is Ravenscry. Next is the Royals of Forsyth University series. The first book is Lords of Pain, and this is currently going to be a 9-book series, and the first 6 are out, but this series might be longer. Next is the Scarlet Force series by C.M. Stunich. The first book is Fuckboy Psychos, and the 4th book is at least announced, so I don't know if there'll be more, but I've read the first 3. Next is the Souls trilogy by Harley LaRoe. Obviously, it's literally called the Souls trilogy, so there's 3 books. The first 2 are out, and the first book is Her Soul to Take. Next is the Eldest Curses series by Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chu. The first book is The Red Scrolls of Magic, which I do own. I'm just too lazy to get up and grab it. And the first 2 books are out. The 3rd book is, we know the title, but we have no idea when it's coming out. Next is The Last Hour series by Cassandra Clare. The books are actually right there, but I'm just too lazy to grab them. There is 2 books published. The 3rd book comes out the end of January. The first book is Chain of Gold. Next is the Sunbearer duology by Aidan Thomas. The first book is The Sunbearer Trials, and this will be a duology, so book 1 is out, it's in my hand, and book 2 comes out at some point. And then the final series that I am fully caught up on is Wilder Lore by Amanda Foody, and this, I've read the first 2 books, and I think there's 7 books to be published, with the 3rd book coming out in February. So now moving on to the incomplete series that I'm at least 1 book behind on. If that makes any sense, you'll kind of see. So for this, I'll do kind of exactly what I did before, but mention how many books in total, how many I've read, and how many I need to catch up. If that makes any sense, I really hope this all makes sense. If not, I'll have to refilm this. But An Heir Comes to Rise by C.C. Penaranda. The first book is An Heir Comes to Rise. There is 4 books out, 2 books to be published, and I've read 2, so there's 6 books in total, or at least that are announced. Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. This, to my knowledge, will be a trilogy. The first 2 books are out, and I have only read the first one, although my next book I will be reading is rereading the first to reread the second, so hopefully this will be completely caught up on by the end of January. Lore Olympus by Rachel Smith. At least announced there will be 4 volumes. 3 of them are out, and I've only read the first 2. Next is the Married to Magic series by Elise Kova. The first book is A Deal with the Elf King. There will be at least 4 books. 3 are out, and I've read 2. One of Us is Lying by Karen N. McManus. I've read the first book, One of Us is Lying. The second book is out, and the third is coming out in 2023. Realmbreaker by Victoria Aveyard. This will be a trilogy, so 3 books. That's 4. 3 books. I have read the first one, the second one I haven't read, and the third one isn't out. Next is the Shadowlands Saga by Stephanie Ann. The first book is The Lost Prince of Kadaira. Book 2 and then the novella are out, and then there will be at least 2 more after that, I think. Next is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. There is going to be at least 5 books in the series. I have read the first 2 and need to read book 3 and then the novella bind up to be caught up. Next is the Wayward Children series by Shauna McGuire. This, I think, is going to be a 10-book series, and I think 6 are out now. Maybe the 7th one came out already. I don't remember the exact release date for it. But I have read the first 3, and the first book is Every Heart a Doorway. And the final, book series on this part of the list is Zodiac Academy by Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti. The first book is The Awakening. There will be 9 books total. 8 are published, and I've read the first 3, I think. Now moving on to completed series, or at least completed to my knowledge, that I have 1 or more books to finish. So first is the Touch of Taboo series by Katie Robert. I just need to read book 3, and there's 4 books in total, and the first book is Your Dad Will Do. This is one that you can read out of order, which I did. Next is All of Us Villains by Amanda Foody and Christine Lynn Herman. This is only a duology, so I just have the second book to read to finish this. Next is the Arc of a Scythe series by Neil Schusterman. The first book is Scythe, and there is 3 books and a novella bind up, so 4 books, and I have only read the first book, Scythe, in this read through because I have read the series before, but this current read is, I've only read the first one. The Captive Prince series by C.S. Pacat. This is a trilogy. The first book is The Captive Prince, and the only book that I need to read is the final book. The Cassidy Blake series by Victoria Schwab is a trilogy, and I've read the first 2 books, and the first book is City of Ghosts. Daughter Smoke and Bone by Lani Taylor is a trilogy with a novella, so 4 books. I've only read the first one, and the first book is Daughter of Smoke and Bone. Next is Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Levenseller. This is a duology. The first book is Daughter of the Pirate King, and I only have the second book to read to complete it. Next is the Easton High series by Elia Greenwood. The first book is Dear Love, I Hate You, I believe. And this is a trilogy, so I've only read the first one, so I have books 2 and 3 to finish. The Forever Change duet by Amber Nicole is a duet, so there's only 2 books. I've read, I think the first book is literally called Forever Changed, and I need to read book 2 to finish it. The Hopeless series by Colleen Hoover. This is 4 books in total. I've read the first book, so I have 3 more to catch up on, and the first book is Hopeless. Next is Lore and Lust by Carla Nicole. This is a 3-book series. The first book is Lore and Lust, and I've only read the first book, so I have 2 more to read. Next is Mistborn Era 1 by Brandon Sanderson. The first book is The Final Empire, and I've read the first 2 books, so I only have the final book to read to finish the series, although I probably will have to reread book 1 and 2 to continue because I don't remember anything, but it's still on this list. Next is Reaped by R.E. Bond and C.A. Renee. The first book is The Reaper Incarnate, and there are 3 books in this series. I have only read the first one, so I need to read books 2 and 3 to finish the series. Next is Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mehurin. This is a trilogy. The first book is Serpent and Dove. I have read the first two, and then I haven't read the third, although I will need to reread this series, but I'm keeping it on this list to motivate myself to reread it and continue it in 2023. The Shattered Kingdom series by Angelina J. Steffort. The first book is Shattered Kingdom, and this is a 7-book series, and I've read the first 5. Next is the Shatter Me series by Tahereh Mafi. First book is Shatter Me, and this, between all of the main books and the novellas, is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think 11 books. So yeah. Next is the She's With Me series by Jessica Consolo. This is a 3-book series, and I have read the first 2, and I just need to read the third. Next is Spellbound by Carolyn Schultz. It's a duology. I've read Spellbound, which is the first book, and I just need to read the second book to complete the duology. The Tales of Rainier series by T.J. Klune. The first book is Lightning Struck Heart. I have read the first 2 books, and there are 6 books in total. Next is the Bargainer series by Laura Thalassa. The first book is Rhapsodic, and this is a 4-book series, and I've only read the first, so I have 3 more to go. The Dark Elements by Jennifer L. Armentrout is the next series. The first book is White Hot Kiss, and this is 4 books. The only book I have to read is the prequel, novella, and then I'm complete. The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. It's a duology. The Hate You Give is the first book, and then there is the second book, which is actually the prequel to The Hate You Give that I still need to read. Next is the Maidenship series by Michelle and Reichman. The Maidenship is the first book. This is a duology. I've read the first 2 books, so I just need to read the final book, the third and final book, to complete the duology. Next is the Mindfuck series by S.T. Abbey. The first book is The Risk, I believe, and there is 5 books in the series. I've only read the first, so I have 4 more to read. Next is the Mortal Instrument series by Cassandra Clare. I do own a copy. I'm just not standing up to grab it. But this is a 6-book series, and I have read the first 3, so I have 3 more to go on this reread at least. Next is the Shameless series by Rosie Danan. The first book is The Roommate, and there's only 2 books in the series, so I just need to read the second. Next is the Twisted Kingdom series by Frost K. This is 5 books. I've read the first 4, so I just need to read the 5th. But this is a series that if I don't read it soon, I might DNF it, but I'm not sure. Next is the Their Vampire Queen by Jolie Sue Burkhart, and this is a 6-book series, I think. The first book is Queen Takes Knights, and I've only read the first book. Next is the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. This is a 8-book series. I have read the first 5, and I have 3 more to go. The first book is Throne of Glass. Next is the True Color series by Annabeth Albert. The first book is Conventionally Yours, and it's only duology, so I just need to read the second book to complete the series. The Twisted series by Anna Huang. The first book is Twisted Love, and this is 4 books, and I've only read the first, so I need to read the remaining 3, although book 2 is on my January TBR, so who knows, I might get to it. Next is the Twisted Heart series by Katie Robert. There are 7 books in the series. I have only read the first 2, so I have 5 books to read. Next is the University of Sorcery series by Megan Linsky. I believe there's only 6 books. Unless I'm just not sure. I should have double checked, but I've read the first 3, so I have 3 to go, and this is a case I'm pretty sure I'd have to at least reread book 3 to continue on, because I do remember the basics, but I don't remember how book 3 ended. And then the final series on this list is What If It's Us by Adam Silvera and Becky Abertali. This is the duology. I've read the first book. I just need to read the second, and the first book is What If It's Us. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. It was a pain in the ass for me to film. I probably forgot things things or missaid things, and for that I'm sorry. Hopefully you'll get the gist of it. If you do have any questions about any of these series or anything you think I missed out in my rambling, please leave a comment down below because I will happily answer those questions and all of that. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what is one series that you're currently reading. I know we all probably have multiple going, but just like one that you want to like prioritize in 2023 probably would be great. But yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I already said that. So yeah, bye!